Hey guys, my name's Heather and welcome to my channel. I've had this channel for a while now and I finally decided to do something with it. So I'm going to start here today with a books I've read recently video. I'm not fully sure I want to totally jump into booktube, but I do want to include books on this channel as well as some other things. So I thought this would be a great video to start with. So I have read a few physical books, but most books that I read tend to be ebooks. It's not that I don't like physical books. I'm just trying not to fill my space again. I got rid of basically like 3 shelves worth of books. And I'm trying not to actually fill that back up. So I do tend to read a lot of ebooks, but I do have a couple physical books that I read recently. So I'm not just doing June. I'm going to cover maybe like May, June, stuff like that. Stuff that was like kind of memorable for me just because I haven't done one of these. So it's more of a recently, not just in June video. So one thing that I did read was basically everything that's out currently for the Unbecoming of Mara Dyer series. So I read that trilogy, and then I think the first 2 books in like the companion Noah Shaw series are out, and I did read those as well. It's not that I actually loved the series. Like I read it all like maybe in 2 weeks, but it's not like I loved the series so much. I actually really liked the idea of it. And then kind of started to dislike what was going on later in the series and why things were the way they were. But I felt like I had to know how it ended. So I don't know when the last book's coming out. So I'll read that when it comes out. But the series is okay. I like the initial idea, but I don't really like where it's going. However, I want to finish it. And another book that I read was Today I'm Alice, and this was a nonfiction book by Alice Jamieson. It follows a woman who has dissociative identity disorder, and it actually, I think it's been republished, because the version that I have, and I don't know where my book is. I actually did have a physical book of this, but I don't have it, so I don't know what happened to it. But I think it's been reprinted. When I looked up the author, it showed that it was on Kindle. So I guess it's more easy to get than it was before. And this is not the best book I've read on that subject, only because it covered everything but, really. Like, there was some mention of the altars, but it followed more of, like, her schooling and her addictions and stuff like that. So I don't know. It was an interesting book, but really actually wasn't what I was expecting based on other books that I've read that were a similar type of thing where they discuss the altars more. So another book that I read was Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. And I actually really liked this. So I am a massive K-pop fan. I'm also a huge K-drama fan, as well as Chinese dramas, stuff like that. So this actually was like right down my alley. I love also the in one day adventure type of story. So yeah, this really worked for me. It was easy to read, and I actually took it on the plane with me on Kindle when I was going to see Blackpink. So it was nice. K-pop book while I'm going to K-pop concert. When I bought Somewhere Only We Know, I also bought her other book, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. It's on sale for like $2.99 or something like that. And it had a great plot. It was the girl who was good at everything except relationships uses the K-drama methods to get herself a boyfriend. The problem was, aside from the fact that I really kind of expected it to read a little bit more like a K-drama. Like, just the flow of the book to be a little bit more K-drama-y. But it really wasn't. And the characters were unlikable. Like, really unlikable. The main character was just so irritating. And to be honest, other than being attractive, there was nothing at all appealing about the main male lead. He was just absolutely the most annoying, wimpy character. Like, there were a lot of instances where they actually, like, specifically point out that he's weak and he's wimpy and scared of things. And I'm like, how is this attractive? So really the only reason she liked him was because she thought he was cute. And that was it. But ultimately, in the end, this kind of book is set up where there's supposed to be some sort of lesson, right? And I felt like she didn't learn it at all. So, yeah, just did not like this one at all. But I just finished yesterday one that was very K-drama-y, even though it didn't specifically say it was supposed to be like a K-drama. And that one was, it just came out, I think, this week, but I like read it immediately because it sounded awesome. And that was Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. And this one, I really liked. This one played out like a K-drama. No, it played out like a teen K-drama, but I really like the Gumiho story. One of my favorite K-dramas is My Girlfriend is Gumiho, so I was so excited to have another one where they weren't just like mythological, like evil creatures, like a lot of the ones that I've seen tend to be. But I was looking for one where she was actually like a sympathetic character, and this one was really good. So I would definitely read the next one when it comes out. It sets it up for a next one. So another one that I read was actually this one right here called Rosewood by A.G. Howard, and I didn't like this one either. So I actually saw this in someone's like unhaul video. But the reason that they said they unhauled it mostly was that they had no interest in the Phantom of the Opera story, which I actually did. So I happened to be at the store and I saw it. So it was kind of an impulse thing that I picked up. And it was just not good. I just did not like the story at all. It's basically about this girl who has the gift of singing. However, it's more like a compulsion. Whenever she hears an aria, she is compelled to sing it. And then when she does, she's physically ill afterwards. So in order to, I guess, get her to control it, her mother sends her to this French boarding school at an opera house that was the model for the Paris Opera House that the Phantom of the Opera story was based in. And it's got the kind of adopted son of the Phantom of the Opera. So I have a problem with books that take place in like foreign country boarding schools. So in this case, the girl is American and she's in a French boarding school kind of situation. And to be honest, I really kind of think that that's only just so that there's no parental supervision. But that situation always feels so forced to me. Every book that I've read previously that's someone in a foreign country boarding school, it just always feels fake. And more fake than if they were in a boarding school in their own country. Like, it's really pushing the fish out of water kind of thing. And I realize I don't care for that either, but this book specifically I did not like. And I don't know, I was interested in reading Splinter or Splintered, the Alice in Wonderland one, but I'm not so sure now. So the next book that I read was Classroom of the Elite, and this is by Syogo Kinugasa. And it's actually a light novel, so it is a book. It's not a manga. It does have a few pictures somewhere in here. Oh, that's not the picture I need to show you. That was girls in bathing suits. Yeah. So something like this. And just a few of them throughout the thing. And I watched this anime, and I was actually really disappointed in the anime. But not because it was bad, but because it just ended without answering any questions. And as far as I know, there are no plans for a second season to actually answer those questions. So I happened to just kind of be looking at the manga, and this was in there as well. So I picked it up. It actually is very, very similar to the anime, the first part. So it didn't cover any new ground. It really didn't give a whole lot of different information than the other one. It's several volumes. This is the only one physically out. Weirdly, this one is out digitally as an ebook before it's out physically. So the volume 2 ebook is actually out already, and the physical version is not. I think it's not out till August. So I do want to read it. I just don't know when, because I could read the ebook, but I also kind of want to actually have the physical book, seeing I have this one. So basically, it's about this guy that goes to the Tokyo Metropolitan Advanced Nurturing High School, and this kid is in the lowest class. So he is in class D, along with this girl right here, and they're working to get to class A. And they all have their own reasons for doing so. It's kind of interesting. I don't think it's going to deviate much from the anime that I saw, but I'm hoping that I get some of the answers. I did like this. It is a little bit basic writing, I guess, a little bit juvenile. Some of that may have to do with the translation. Some of it may have to do with the fact that light novels tend to be more for teens. So I did like it, though. I do like the story. I'm interested to find out what happens, so I will be reading the other ones. So the last book that I'm going to talk about today is The Haunted from Daniel Vega. And I actually was really excited for this book. All of her plots sound really interesting, but I do like haunted houses, so I was really interested in this one. And I just did not like it. So, in this book, Hendrix, the main character, moves from Philadelphia to upstate New York to this small town with her parents, who are house flippers, because of some incident that's actually not explained at all till much, much later in the book. So you're like, you have no idea why she's moved there at all. And it's really kind of irritating, because they make it like where they moved states. She killed all her social media. She had to leave her friends and her school and everything, and doesn't talk to any of them. And they are worried that something is going to happen to her, but they don't explain it. Even so, her parents, who are so worried about her, they're so worried that they move states that they think she needs to see a therapist. They think she has PTSD. They're worried that somebody is stalking her. They leave her alone all the time. And it's really just so things can happen. And then, the whole ghost story was really unsatisfying. And I don't know, I just didn't like it at all. It did not work for me at all. So I had a few good books, and I had some really disappointing books this time. So I will probably try to do like monthly ones in the future, but for now this is pretty good. I did just some books that I've read recently, and it'll be okay. But that is everything that I'm going to talk about right now, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.